Question 61. Quarterback A13 is behind the line of scrimmage attempting a pass. Before he can release the ball, B99 grabs the inside back collar of A13's jersey and swings him around in a half circle and throws him to the ground on his back. And we're back to 943 again, this time K and G. So K is the prohibition against a horse collar, and G is make any other contact with an opponent, including a defenseless player, which is deemed unnecessary. So I like this question. The way it's described, it's a little vague, but this is a horse collar tackle, and it is also a necessary roughness. We're not going to let players throw each other players around. So, and of course, all of these are personal fouls. So it's kind of a trick question in a way, because you probably answer A, but it's D, both A and C. But if you answered A, you get 99%. Okay, moving on. All right, question 62. Still with horse collars. A, 3rd and 23 at the A18. A36 is carrying the ball at the A25 towards B's goal line. Does this sound familiar? When B93 grabs A36's jersey and violently pulls A36 backward. B93 maintains the hold while A36 continues running, and B93 finally pulls A36 sideways into the ground at the A29. So the prohibition against a horse collar tackle includes backward or sideward. So this time, because he didn't go forward, he went sideward. This is a horse collar tackle. So the play ends up at the A29. We are going to go, let's see, they're in 23. We're going to go 15 from here. It's going to be on the A44. 1st and 10. Answer is C. Question 63. Only the referee may order the ball change between downs. And the rule reference is 133. And 133 used to say the referee shall decide whether the ball meets the specifications. If the field is wet, the referee may order the ball changed between downs. Well, now we have a rule change, which says the referee shall decide whether the ball meets specifications. The referee or any other game official may order the ball changed between downs. So while this used to be true in 2022, it's false. So, realistically, we would, this was always true, but we're gonna they've codified it, so that's great. So now any official can ask for the ball to be changed out. All right, moving on. All right, quarterback A6 takes a direct snap. This is question 64, and pitches the ball backward to A12. A56 then blocks B73 at the waist. At the same time, A64 blocks B73 at the knees. Is this a chop block? Is it an illegal block below the waist? Is it both those? Or is it a legal play? So 238 is the definition of a chop block, and a chop block the definition got changed. So let's take a look at the new definition. Chop block is a combination block by two or more teammates against an opponent other than the runner, with or without delay, where one of the blocks is low, below the waist, and one of the blocks is high, above the waist. Okay, so this one is at the waist and at the knees. So we've got two low blocks. I like the fact that they've changed the rule. It used to be required for the low block to be below the knee, and now it's just below the waist. Much better definition, I believe. But this is not a chop block. Now, this guy, let's take a look at the timing of this. Quarterback A6 has already pitched the ball backward to A12. So do we have a free blocking zone anymore? And I think that's what the definition he's referring to. Yeah, the free blocking zone. Okay. So blocking below the waist is permitted in the free blocking zone when the following conditions are met. We don't know about whether these guys were on the line of scrimmage, but we do know that the block was not immediate. So this is an illegal block below the waist. Answer is B. Question 65. Guess what? I just answered this question in the previous question. A chop block is a combination block by two or more teammates against an opponent other than the runner with or without delay, where one of the blocks is low, below the waist, and one of the blocks is high, above the waist. Yes, indeedy. We already talked about it. It's true. Okay, question 67. This is going to deal with a kick, and kicking penalty enforcement is always a challenge because there are a lot of different things that can happen as far as decision making and situational stuff. So this is going to get a little verbose. Hang in with me. K 4th and 5 at the K10. K's punt is caught by K38 and run back to the K20. K committed an illegal shift, so that's right at the snap, prior to the kick, and during the run back are held at the K30. So Rule 10 deals with enforcement of penalties, okay? And Rule 10.1 is procedure after a foul. And then Rule 2, Section 2, deals with double and multiple fouls, which is what we have here. A double foul is when both teams commit fouls. And a multiple foul is when one team commits more than one foul. So 10-2-1 deals with double fouls, which is what we have. And it says, it is a double foul if both teams commit fouls other than non-player or unsportsmanlike during the same live ball period in which, A, there is no change of team possession, so that doesn't apply because there was a change of possession, right, with the kick. There is a change of possession, and the team in possession at the end of the down fouls prior to the final change of possession. So that would mean that that are fouled prior to the end of the kick. Okay. Unless all fouls are post scrimmage kick fouls. Now we've talked about post scrimmage kick fouls already. They are fouls that occur while the ball has passed the line of scrimmage and is in the air prior to the end of the kick. Okay, that's not the case here. The receiver caught it, and he is now running back. We had a loose ball play when we kicked the ball. So penalty enforcement is different for loose balls plays. It's the previous spot. Running play is the end of the run. So once he starts to run that back, it's now a running play. So C says there is a change of possession and the team in final possession accepts the penalty for its opponent's foul at any time during the down. In A, B, or C, the penalty is canceled and the down is replayed. So if R accepts K's foul for the illegal shift, then we'll replay the down. 10-2 tells us if each team fouls during a down in which there is a change of possession, so far so good, and the play does not have a post-scrimmage kick foul, which we don't, the team last gaining possession may retain the ball, provided A, the foul by the team last gaining possession is not prior to the final change of possession. So if we had multiple changes of possession, say we had fumbles and so on, then if the foul occurred during one of those previous changes of possessions, then they can't retain the ball. But in B, the team last gaining possession declines the penalty for the opponent's foul other than a non-player or unsportsmanlike foul. In this case, the team that was not last in possession has no penalty options until the team last in possession has made its penalty decision. So what that's basically saying is K doesn't get to choose whether they're going to accept or decline until R chooses whether they're going to accept or decline. So if R declines the penalty, they can retain possession. That's what this all comes down to. Now the question is, where do we enforce the foul from? And normally, as we said, as a running play, it would be the end of the run, which is the K20, right? But the foul occurred at the K30. So the K20 is called the basic spot, the end of the run. And a foul behind the basic spot by A or R is enforced under the all but one principle of penalty enforcement, which says that penalty is enforced from the spot of the foul. So we will enforce from the K30. So the answer is C. R may retain possession by declining enforcement of K's foul. R first and 10 from the K40. I know that was a lot. Take time, study Rule 10, study this part right down here so I can get to it. Come on. It's right at the end. This part. Enforcement spots, all but one principle. This can get confusing. Read this one over and over again and ask people about it, okay? All right, let's move on. Question 67. This sounds a lot like a previous question, but it's not. K 4th and 5 of the K10. K's punt is caught at the K38 and run back to the K20. K committed an illegal shift. And during the kick, R held at the K30. So we have all these rules references from Rule 10, and 10.2.1 is the definition of a double foul, which we have here. We have both teams committing fouls during the play. But we learned from our previous question that R can retain the ball if they decline Team K's foul. So we have two. So we have two answers that say that. Now, the question is, where does the ball end up? And this is what's called a post-scrimmage kick foul. If a post-scrimmage kick foul and remember we've gone over this before, it has to happen during a scrimmage kick play other than a try or successful field goal. During a scrimmage kick play in which the ball crosses the expanded neutral zone, so far so good. Beyond the foul occurs beyond the expanded neutral zone. The foul occurs before the end of the kick, which it did, and K will not be the next to put the ball in play. Okay, so this is a post-scrimmage kick foul, and it has special enforcement. The basic spot for a post-scrimmage kick foul is where the kick ends. Okay, so the kick ends when a player gains possession or when a ball becomes dead while not in player possession. So where did R gain possession? R gained possession at the K38. So the penalty enforcement spot is the K38. It's a 10-yard penalty for holding. So the answer is B. R may retain possession by declining enforcement of K's foul. R first and 10 at the K48. Question 68. A 3rd and 6 at the A10. At the snap, A has 5 players in the backfield, so we have an illegal formation, right? Runner A33 fumbles at the A22, and B54 recovers the ball at the A24 and runs to the A14 where he is downed. During B54's run, B67 holds at the A20. So we have a double foul situation. Each team is fouled, and the first rule citation is 10.2.1b, which is it is a double foul if both teams commit fouls other than non-player or unsportsmanlike during the same live ball period in which there is a change of team possession. That's right there on B. And the team in possession at the end of the down fouls prior to the final change of possession, unless all fouls committed by our are post-scrimmage kick fouls. And then 10.2.1c says there is a change of possession and the team in final possession accepts the penalty for its opponent's foul. So we have two situations here. This one doesn't apply to 10.2.1b because the second foul occurred after the change of possession. Okay, if team B were to accept the penalty against A for the illegal formation, then the fouls would offset. But 10.2.2 tells us if each team fouls during a down in which there is a change of team possession and the play does not have a post-scrimmage foul, the team last gaining possession may retain the ball, provided, and it's the team last gaining possession declines the penalty for its opponent's foul. All right, that's enough. The rest of it, we don't care about that. We do, but we don't. Anyway, so R can retain possession by declining enforcement of A's foul because it fits those criteria. The question is, where is it enforced from? So the end of the run, this is a running play at this point, to the A14. But the hold occurs behind the basic spot, which is the A20, so we're going to enforce it from there, and it's going to be R's ball, or B's ball, 1st and 10 at the A30. The answer is C. Question 69. B12 commits a foul during the last 2 minutes of the first half, and Team A declines the penalty enforcement. Team A has the option to start the game clock on the snap, and the rule reference is 347. Now, this is the 2021 rule book, and it said when a penalty is accepted with less than 10, then they have that option. But guess what? They changed the rule. I can't wait to do the rule book. So they took away when the penalty is accepted, and it simply says when a foul is committed. Okay, so this used to be false, and now it's true. All right, moving on. Okay, question number 70. Quarterback A7 takes the snap and fades straight back to attempt a pass. 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, A7 evades a tackler and runs toward the left sideline. When he is outside the lateral boundaries of the free blocking zone, he throws a forward pass into an area in which there is no eligible receiver. The pass lands inbounds 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. So I'm not even going to mess around with this. This used to be intentional grounding, new rule, and basically it says that this is legal. I don't want to read this whole thing for it to you, and I would really rather it be in the rule book. But basically, as long as the quarterback is outside of the tackle box, they call it, or let's just call it the free blocking zone, and he throws the ball away, it's not an intentional grounding. It has to go beyond the line of scrimmage, I believe. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so if you see B here, it says the forward pass reaches the neutral zone or beyond. So, yeah, it has to go beyond the neutral zone for this not to be intentional grounding. All right, so now this is legal.